अष्टोत्तर शतमान भक्ति वेदांत सुलभान गोस्वामी महाराज एवं नित्यलीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतमान भक्ति वेदांत सुलभान गोस्वामी महाराज के अभय चरण कमलों में अनंत करोड़ साष्टांग दंडवत
जय भगवान महाराज की जय।
तदनंतर नित्यलीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतमान भक्ति वेदांत महाराज भक्ति वेदांत भारती गोस्वामी महाराज एवं उपस्थित समस्त वैष्णव विष्णु के चरण कमलों में मेरा यथायथा
So, we're speaking from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. Sentalis, on the chapter of Bhramara-gita. Shukadeva Goswami Maharaj is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj of Srimati Radhika's transcendental madness. These 10 slokas how Srimati Radhika is expressing her transcendental madness.
Krishna Sangamam Priya Prasthavita Dutan Kalpayati Vedam Abravit. मूल श्लोक में श्रील सुखदेव गोस्वामी पाद
in this shloka, Srila Shukadeva Goswami is not written or spoken of Srimati Radhika's name directly, but using the word Kachit, he is indicating Srimati Radhika. This Kachit one, it means one gopi. Srila Jiva Goswami in Vaishnava Toshini commentaries Kachit means, according to Srila Jiva Goswami Pad, Srimati Radhika. In the happiness of transcendental love, ka and chit, one who has that knowledge of that transcendental love.
जो सेवा सुख का अनुभव करती है वे काचित अर्थात श्री राधा और परिपूर्ण रूप से श्री कृष्ण ही सेवा का अनुभव एकमात्र मादनक्ष महाभावती श्रीमती राधा जी में ही संभव है क्योंकि राधा जी की कहा जाता है राधिनी शक्ति स्वरूपिणी
Srimati Radhika is Ahladini Shakti.
और महाभाव स्वरूपिणी राधा ठाकुर।
Ahladini means the pleasure potency. Krishna tastes this pleasure through this Ahladini Shakti, and he also gives this to the devotees through this Shakti, Srimati Radhika. She tastes the moods in Krishna's heart. That person who is a servant or who experiences and knows the heart of the person that they are serving and who is relishing that, that person can actually serve their object of worship. Until we have this, we cannot be successful in our service completely. We may partially, but not completely. As for example, a new disciple comes to his spiritual master. He's completely innocent and new. Gurudev asks the disciple to bring a glass of water. After 5 minutes or 10 minutes, he comes back. Where's the water? The disciple says, I forgot to ask you, what type of water do you want? Cold water or hot water? You came back 10 minutes later, Gurudev says, now my throat is dry. So he says, go and bring a glass of water that is available. Then after 10 minutes he comes back again, and the disciples tells his Gurudev, do you want a glass of water from the tap or from the bottle? Then the Gurudev says, go and get the glass of water from the tap. Otherwise, if you go to the market to buy a bottle of water, you may not come back after 1 hour. After 10 minutes again, he comes and tells Gurudev, what type of glass do you want to drink the water in? Do you want a plastic cup or a metal cup or a clay glass? Just go and get the cooler water. Then he goes, and then after 10 minutes comes back again and asks, shall I bring it in my hand or shall I bring a tray? Gurudev, don't worry, just sit down here, there's no need to bring any water. That's not service. Service means one who knows the heart of the object of worship and serves accordingly. So, Srimati Radhika, she knows completely the heart of Krishna. In the Puranas, why is Srimati Radhika's name been mentioned? Because she knows the heart of Krishna completely. We are performing our sadhan. By the mercy of the object of worship, then we can actually serve. Sadhan is such to attain the mercy of that object of worship, and by that mercy we know that their heart, and then we will be able to serve completely. So this is important to continue to perform our sadhan, our endeavour, our practice. There's two things. We should have continuous endeavour to please Krishna. Akhil Cheshta Parayan. That endeavour will bring us the mercy. Kripa means, Kri meaning to do, Pa to achieve. This Kri syllable, Kri, the verbal root, means to endeavour. One is chesta and another is bhav. We endeavour with our body, chesta, And by the mercy of the Lord, we shall get something in return. Some in the mood of servant, what's in the parental, in the Madhurya level. Bhakti Uttama. Here, Srimati Radhika is completely, in all ways, she knows this, what is it's only possible by Srimati Radhika. This level of Madanakya Mahabhav can only when we reach this level can we actually serve. Lalita and Vishakha, they're no less than Srimati Radhika, but she is Madanakya Mahabhav. This high level. Lalita and Vishakha, they reach the stage of Mohan. Madanakya Mahabhav. This Madanakya Mahabhav. This Madanakya Mahabhav is only present in Srimati Radhika. It is for this reason that she knows Krishna's heart and serves accordingly. Just like we worship Ganga by offering Ganga water. That is Ganga Devi. In the same way, all the sweet mellows of Krishna, then we can serve Krishna. There is no difference between Radha and Krishna. Shakti. In this Krishna is the source of all potencies, and Srimati Radhika is the recipient of that potency. There is no difference between the potency and the possessor of the potency. This is known as murta and amurta. Murta means manifest and amurta meaning unmanifest. But the potency is still there, just like the fire and its potency to burn, and the fragrant and the source of the fragrance. The potency to burn is in the fire. It cannot be separated. Even by mantras, we can't reduce the heat of the potency of fire to burn, and in this way the yogis are able to walk on fire. So this example is given. So the yogi's body is not burnt because they have the ability to reduce that potency of the fire to burn. In Kali Yuga, this potency is very rarely seen. This is a blessing in disguise, because if we see this in people, we will become disturbed. That potency, ability will disappear if it's disrespected.
तो इसलिए हम कह रहे हैं ये यहाँ पर है शक्ति शक्तिमान और दैव अभेद भगवान और भगवान की शक्ति
The Lord and His potency
एक ही साथ में
is always together
विराजमान
and present.
शक्तिमान और दैव अभेद आगे की कथा हम यहाँ पर वर्णन करते हैं
So we speak further on this subject.
श्रीमती राधा दिव्य उन्मादिनी
Srimati Radhika, in her transcendental madness,
करके कृष्ण के दूत समझ करके अपने भावों की जो है
understanding the bumblebee to be Krishna's messenger, she is speaking.
जिससे पहले श्लोक तो हम लोग आलोचना किया ये मधुपतित बबंधो माँ पिस्रांगी सपत्ना पुष्पविलुलित माला तुम पुनः सुश्रुभि बहुत मधु को मधुपति तत्मानिनं
See if it's working first. Check it's working.
जदु सदस्य ब्रह्म
Check it's working.
दूत इस कथा को
It's on that.
हम लोग ने
It's on.
श्रवण किया ये श्रीमती राधिका कैसे भ्रमर के कृष्ण के दूत समझ करके और उसके प्रति कैसे कैसे अपने भाव को उद्गार करने लगी
Srimati Radhika is expressing her
श्लोक में
in the second shlok.
दूसरी श्लोक भी हम लोग थोड़ा बहुत भी आलोचना किया था
And we spoke a little bit on the second shloka.
सुमनस इव शब्दस्तत् तज्जेत समाग्र भवाद्रिक परिचरिति कथम तत्पाद पद्म तु पद्मा जब अपि बत हित चेता उत्तम श्लोक जलपई इस कथा को भी हम लोग श्रवण किया था श्रीमती राधिका दिव्य उन्मादिनी होकर के वह भ्रमर के जो है कह रही है हे भ्रमर जिस प्रकार तुम पुष्प का फूलों का पराग आस्वादन कर उनका परित्याग कर अन्यत्र चले जाते हो उसी प्रकार कृष्ण ने भी हमें केवल एक बार लालसा वर्धक परम मादक सख्य अधरामृत पान करा करके हमारा सद्य ही परित्याग कर दिया पता नहीं सुकुमारी लक्ष्मी उनके जैसे कपटी व्यक्ति को चरण कमल को कैसे सेवा करती है प्रतीत होता है कि वे उनकी चिकनी चुपड़ी मिथ्या बातों से आकृष्ट होकर ही उनकी सेवा कर रही है किंतु हम लक्ष्मी के भांति अविचक्षणा नहीं है हे राधा जी इस समस्त भाव इस कथा को हम लोग भी श्रवण किया अभी हम धीरे धीरे तृतीय श्लोक में
So we're coming to the second shlok.
हम जा रहे हैं
नहीं चलते नहीं Try mine, Sundar. Try mine. If you just swap the mic and plug it in, will it work? Swap. Let's just swap the mic. Will it fit? It doesn't come off? My machine isn't here. Amach, just take my machine.
सबको सुनाई दे रहा है इतना ही लगता है ट्रांसमिशन
It's alright. Just leave it.
किमि हो बहु सड़ंघ्रे कायसे तम यदुना मधुपति अग्रहाणु अग्रतोनो पुराणो विजय सख सखिनां गियता तत्प्रसंग क्षपित कुज रहस्ते कल्पयन्ते एम इष्ट कल्पयन्ते इष्ट हे भ्रमर तुम हम ब्रजवासी वनवासियों की समीप क्यों आए
Oh, Srimati Radhika is saying to the bumblebee, why have you come here it to the Brajabasis. And why are you speaking in such a way? Why don't you go back to the ladies of Mathura and speak to them? Those ladies who have been pacified by Shri Krishna's embrace. So Srimati Radhika is saying, why do you keep coming back to us? We don't want to hear this. Why are you glorifying your master again and again?
माननीय श्रीमती राधिका उपदेश एवं तिरस्कार युक्त वाक्यों के द्वारा भ्रमर निवृत्त न होकर अधिक उच्च स्वर से गुंजन ध्वनि कर और मड़मड़ाने लगे, मानो भ्रमर पुनः झंकार करते हुए कहने लगे, हे श्री जी, आपकी अनुग्रह प्राप्ति करने के लिए प्रयास कर, निज प्रभु का गुणगान कर रहा हूँ.
So the bumblebee is saying, he's coming in again to speak to Srimati Radhika. But Srimati Radhika says, we don't want to hear these things of your master, and we have no benefit from it. He is cheater and duplicitous. This is nothing new we're hearing about him. The same story again and again is being repeated. If you speak katha, Hari-katha, something new, then it will be interesting to hear. But if you speak the same thing again and again, then we become bored. I say, oh, I heard this before. Once there was a reciter of the Ramayana. Those who are the relishers of the Ramayana-katha told the reciter, please tell us something new. We have heard the recital of the Ramayana many times before. Please speak something that we have not heard. What can I speak? The reciter replied, okay, something I can say. Ram took Sita. Ravan killed Ram, and Sita became freed. So what do we say? Ram stole Sita, and Ravan came and freed Sita, and this is this Bhagavad Katha is very wonderful, very beautiful. However many times we recite it again and again, it will remain ever fresh and new. This is one quality in the Lord. He is ever new and fresh. In this world, this word cannot be applied. If you see something once in this world, then after some time you become familiar with it. It's like at the hands of the clock ticking away. Once they've ticked, they've left their position from the previous second. Just seeing the Lord just once and seeing the Lord again for the second time, it seems like you have never seen Him before. It seems like the first time. And this body is deteriorating and perishing. Once we were a young child, and then we grew up to be a youth, or middle-aged, and then old age, and then we leave our body, and then we take birth again. Same cycle again, in repetition, in a rotation. Because this material world is a perishable place, but in the transcendental realm, everything's ever new and fresh. And the Lord's pastimes, His name, and it is eternal. That's why there is so much pleasure in listening to Bhagavad-katha. Pagiyamanam Mano Bhramara Tamashlokya Nana Varda Nirjit Vina Pushagna. There's so much pleasure in listening to the pastimes of the Lord. For this reason, the impersonalists who want to merge into the effulgence of the Lord, even hearing the pastimes of the Lord, they will give up this desire. Those entities who are suffering in the material world, if they listen to the pastimes, sweet pastimes of the Lord, then the sufferings of this material world will end. They do not know when it is day or night. Great yogis, by their practice, this meaning here, Bhakti Yoga, they endeavour to see the beautiful form and experience the beautiful form of the Lord. There's such a pleasure, sweetness in seeing the form of the Lord. So Mahaprabhu is saying, just one particle of the Lord's body, it can defeat the brilliance, effulgence, beauty of billions of universes. We want to see in this world things, the beauty of this world. But one who has seen the beauty of the Lord has no desire to see any beauty of this world. Bilvamangala Thakura is an example of such a person. When he was going to Vrindavan, Krishna was holding his hand. When Bilvamangala Thakura entered Vrindavan, the Lord let go of his hand. Then Bilvamangala Thakura thought, this crooked Krishna, he was the one who was holding my hand. Then Bilvamangala Thakura, he said, maybe he's saying to Krishna, you let go of my hand, but I will not let you go from my heart. If you escape from my heart, then I will understand that you are Purushottama, the Supreme Lord. Otherwise not. And the Lord gave Bilvamangala Thakura his vision through transcendental eyes. When he did this, Krishna said, I am giving you this blessing that you will always be able to see my form. Then Bilvamangala Thakura said, the eyes with which I saw your form, I don't want to use these eyes to see the pleasure of this material world. Because the beauty of the Lord, if one has that vision, then they will have no taste for things of this material world. If one gets the best of something, he will easily let go of the lower taste. The vision that Bilvamangala Thakura had of the Lord was a transcendental vision. And the same with Dhruva Maharaj. He thought, I could see with these eyes the Lord, but this is not possible. you'll have to see the Lord, the transcendental Lord with transcendental eyes, as it is said in Bhagavad Gita.
Vyasa prasadena, Vyasadeva ki kripa se
Vyasa prasadena. Sanjay was able to see the battle of Kurukshetra. And then with this vision, he explained to Dhritarashtra, this material world cannot see beyond the wall, one wall and another wall. What if a mosquito is biting your back? You will not be able to see that mosquito. What you need to see the Lord? Transcendental eyes. So why are we saying this? Because Bilvamangala Thakura is saying, please be merciful that I can see you with your transcendental form with transcendental eyes. Meaning that one who has a vision of the Lord and he will not have any taste of anything in this material world. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in this kirtan is saying, Bandhu sange chadis abhilas. One who sees the Lord just once this very beautiful description of this song. There's so much pleasure in seeing the Lord. In this world, that pleasure is just insignificant. That pleasure from emerging in the effulgence of Lord Brahmananda, it becomes like a comparison to the a pleasure of the Supreme Lord. It's like a firefly, very small flickering light. So the translation of Bandhu Sange, if you have the desire to have fun and laugh with friends, then heed my words, don't go near Keshigat in Mathura. There Sri Hari has taken the form of Govinda, whose eyes are graced with a crooked glance. So coming back to the translation, in Brahmananda there is pleasure, but that pleasure is insignificant in front of the pleasure of the Lord, which is called Prema-ananda. And the higher than Prema-ananda is Rasa-ananda. We can progress towards that pleasure. And so there's so much pleasure in hearing the pastimes of the Lord and in his chanting his holy names. And here Srimati Radhika, in her contrary mood of separation, she's saying, why you keep speaking about the glories of your master? Do you think we do not know him? What will you be able to tell us? A child, it is after visiting their maternal uncle's home, is explaining to his mother about the glories of that place. But the mother has come from there. She knows that the glories of that place. But the mother is very happy to hear the child's description of her maternal home. She was born there. but she takes pleasure in hearing her child speak about that place.
किंतु छोटा बच्चा अपने मामा जी के घर में जाकर के और सब और लौट करके आखिर माँ के पास वही कथा सुनाने लगे। तब भी माँ जो है बहुत प्रसन्न है।
Still, the mother is happy, and this is what Srimati Radhika is saying. We know the nature of your master. He's crooked and he, trickster. We do not want to hear of his glories. In this condition, Srimati Radhika, in her transcendental madness, with crooked words, so the bumblebee is thinking that if I glorify my master, then Srimati Radhika will be pleased. But Srimati Radhika is not. She's saying, "Oh, you foolish person! What is our benefit in listening to your glorification of your master? He's a crooked master." You go and speak to him and glorify him in front of the damsels of Mathura. They will be pleased, because having heard that glorification, being pleased with you, they will give you some gift. Why? People will speak Hari-katha, so they may think that they want to get something. There is some self-interest in this material world. One who recites this katha, this for some benefit. Why is Shri Guru speaks Hari-katha in front of his disciple? To impress upon him. Until that is not established, then that disciple will not have faith in the Guru, and not having this faith, they will not be able to advance in their spiritual life. So the Guru recites Hari-katha to the disciple to increase their faith. The first stage in bhakti is Shraddha. Where will this Shraddha come from? By listening to Hari-katha. Whether it's mundane or spiritual. There's only one purpose in speaking Hari-katha, that they will become attached to the speaker. Surdas, he spoke to the Lord. Why? To please the Lord. He had no selfish motive. There's very nice pastimes of Surdas. He put the deity of the Lord, dressed him very nicely. Surdas is a blind devotee, very famous devotee. And the one visitor came and said, "Oh, your Thakurji, your Lord is dressed so very nicely, as he had decorated them." Yeah. So he's thinking that somebody spoke like this, so they are glorifying the Lord. Then Surdas, he removed all the ornaments and decoration. And now he's saying, he said, this person then removed all the ornaments and asked Surdas, "What does your Lord look like now?" Surdas said, "My Thakurji is naked." And how could he know this, being blind? Because he could see with his transcendental vision.
स्वयं कृष्ण
Sorry.
and उनकी कथा सुनने के लिए बैठ जाते। ऐसे प्रेमी भक्त
This is the nature of a devotee in the stage of prem.
कथा सुनाने के तात्पर्य क्या है उनका?
The meaning of speaking Hari-katha is to
हम जो कह रहे हैं भाई
attract
जो कथा भी
a
सुनाते हैं
disciple, increase their faith.
अपने शिक्षा जो है उनके प्रति आकृष्ट और उसमें उसके क्या आनंद होता है।
And in that there is pleasure.
भगवान के आनंद लेकर के स्वयं आनंद रस
The Lord is full of pleasure,
सार्थक की बात
and one who can relate with this pleasure themselves get this pleasure.
ठाकुर जी के प्रसन्न हो रहे तो उसके चित्त भी प्रसन्न हो।
If the Lord is pleased, then the devotee is pleased.
निस्वार्थ होकर के कीर्तन है।
But one has to do this selflessly, without selfish motive.
मानो भ्रमर जब बार-बार आने लगे
When the bumblebee, black bee, came again,
इस चेष्टा से किशोरी जी और अधिक मानिनी हो गई तथा भ्रमर को संबोधित करके कहने लगे, अरे मधुकार तुम सर्वश्रेष्ठ व्यक्ति अर्थात कृष्ण के गुणगान के लिए और कोई स्थान नहीं मिला तुम्हें, केवल यही स्थान मिल गया।
Srimati Radhika is saying, could you not find anywhere else to take rest, to go to? The black bee, he flew away, and for some time. And then previously we said that Srimati Radhika is lamenting that she did not respect her visitor, the bee, and was lamenting when the bee left and went away. This is the examples Gurudev used to say. He says, even if a dog comes into my home, I will honor that dog. They would not chase that dog away. Meaning to say that we should respect everyone. When the black bee flew away, Srimati Radhika lamented. I did not respect him, I did not invite him in, and I did not offer him. I did not speak sweet words. I did not ask where he came from. How can I serve you? I did not offer them any water. It's 4 things everybody has in their home. There's 1 place to sit, to offer that visitor a seat, some sweet words, please sit. You don't have to go to the shop and buy a bottle of water. What water you have in the house. And if they are departing, then you should follow them and speak sweet words. Some 7 steps. If you do not do this, they will leave their sinful reactions in your house, and they will take your good qualities away with them. This is the words of Shastra you should follow. This is the Vedic culture. If somebody comes to visit you, then when they leave, you should follow them for 7 steps, at least up to the door. It's not that you shout, "Oh, close the door behind you." You should get up. I said, "Maharaj, you're going. Please close the door behind you." Don't say that. If they go like in this way, they will leave their sinful reactions behind with you, and they will take your good qualities and good credits with them. So here Srimati Radhika in a condition of transcendental madness. She's lamenting that she did not respect the messenger of Krishna, the black bee. I chased that person away. Okay. She did not invite the bumblebee. In the first shloka, Srimati Radhika is saying, "Oh, you are the friend of that crooked person. Go away." So just on the first instant coming, she chased the black bee away. Now she is repenting. At least she should have asked him where he's come from, why he has come, what he wants. But seeing this black bee, she instantly chased him away. "Don't touch my feet," she said. "Go away from here." Here Srimati Radhika is saying, she's lamenting. She's thinking, oh, this black bee has come to pacify me, but I did not give him respect. Then when the bumblebee came back, and then Srimati Radhika became angry again. Oh, Madhukar, oh, bumblebee, there are so many places you can go. In Vrindavan, there's so many places. Why don't you go there and glorify your master's qualities? Why have you come? Why do you repeatedly come to me? We know your master very well. We know his crooked ways. What will you speak to us about that? He is history to us. We know him. He is crooked and tricks. He speaks the same to everyone. He tells everyone, "Oh, I am so indebted to you. I cannot repay you back." Not only to Srimati Radhika, but whichever gopi he sees, he says the same thing. He says, "You are my favorite, my best. There is no one like you. I will not be able to pay you back in any way, even if I have the lifespan of Brahma. And if I serve your feet for that length of time, still I would not be able to pay you back." If one serves somebody, one becomes indebted to that servant. Sorry, I think Maharaj is saying here that you can be relieved of somebody's debt by serving them. Being in debt with somebody, if you serve them, then that debt can be removed. Kailash, the story of Kailash, when he died, he became a bull, and giving the life of a body of a bull, he became a dog, and then he became a snake. And every time the children said to Narada Rishi, These animal, the boys, the children said, are just like my father. Narada Rishi said, they're not just like your father, they are your father. Sorry, ma. Sorry, ma.
मैं जितना जोर से बोलता हूँ आप उससे और भी जोर से बोलते हैं। कैलाश कैलाश की कथा जो हम सुनाते हैं।
This Gurudev used to speak of this pastime of Kailash. And then he took birth as a bull and then as a dog. Narada Rishi could see the past, present and future. Narada Rishi asked to the boys, where is this dog? And the children said that dog was just like our father. Narada Rishi repeated that, no, he's not the dog. He's not just like the dog, he is the dog. So, like Maharaj is giving the example that we have a dog in the house and we are serving the dog, we're cleaning their poo, and this service to the dog is something that was owed to you in the previous life, that that dog owed but did not pay back to you, or you owed to the dog in the previous life. You did not pay back. Now you have to serve the dog by cleaning its stool and taking care of it. We see that people are picking up the poo of the dog as we're walking by. So that dog was that person who you owed to but did not pay back. Now that person has come to take service from you because you did not pay them back in the previous life. But by surrendering completely to Govinda, all our debts are completed. All the debts to our parents, to the forefathers, to the demigods, to the king. If one surrenders to Mukunda, one is saved from all the debts, all the anything that we owe to anyone. So this song, Bhaja Hure Mana, one who surrenders to the Lord Mukunda, you will not have to take birth as a dog or anything else. Your cycle of repeated birth and death is finished. So the bumblebee, the black bee, is speaking like this. This is my nature too. So the nature of a sadhu is to speak about the Lord. Why does sadhu come to your house to eat? No, this is called a swadhu, one who is a relisher, a taster of good things, but one who is engaged in the glorification of the Lord. There's two words, sadhu and swadhu. Swadhu is an enjoyer and Sadhu is a renunciate who is totally engaged in glorifying the Lord. Otherwise, they would have to take birth in your house as a dog. If you eat something from somebody else's house, this you cannot digest. You will have to pay back in some way or another with interest. So Maharaj is saying, oh, they're serving him so nice. He's saying, I will have to come back as a dog in your house to pay you back. But one who is engaged in Govinda's service completely will not have to come back. Charanabhavindare. So the black bee is saying, why you criticizing, chastising me and finding faults in me? This is my nature to glorify. So why does a sadhu come to your house to speak Hari-katha and do kirtan? Everybody has their job to do. Everybody's individual responsibility is job. And the sadhu's job is to give Hari-katha. Sadhu, she sings so nice. It's nice. She has a good voice. You all have your own specialities. Everybody is serving. Somebody is listening. That is also a service. No, not that the person who is speaking is the best. The person who is listening is also just as good, like Parikshit Maharaj. Shukadeva Goswami Pad was the speaker, and Parikshit Maharaj was the listener. Who is the best of the two? The listener is the best. It is considered that the listener is the best. What if there is no listener? What will the speaker do? Now that you have come, I am speaking. If you do not come, then I would be chanting. So for this reason, you are better. The gopis is saying that whoever is listening, and in the commentaries of Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, it's glorifying the listeners. Say, if they do not come, then what would I do? There are very few listeners. The speakers are so many. Speaking is easy, but to listen is very difficult. I can speak for 2 hours, but can you listen for 2 hours? After listening to 40 minutes, your mind will be here, going here and there, and think, oh Maharaj, when will you stop? But so to listen, one has to concentrate, one-pointed, then you can listen. There is a psychological effect in this. It is very difficult to listen attentively. And so it is showing the greatness of the listener. So, who is Parikshit Maharaj? She is a gopi. He's a gopi. And Shukadeva Goswami is a parrot. So, and Parikshit Maharaj is a gopi. So who is higher in this case? The gopi, Parikshit Maharaj, is higher than Shuk, the parrot who is reciting. and more importance is given to the listener. Do you understand? Oh, Swamini, the bumblebee is saying, black bee is saying, that it is my nature to do kirtan, to speak. Hearing this, Srimati Radhika, I'm not saying that you should not chant kirtan. Do you not know anything else but to glorify your crooked master? Again and again, you keep coming back and you speak about this crooked person, this Braj-basi kirtan. This very nice kirtan of Braj. Oh Krishna is speaking about Krishna, it was being so crooked. Srimati Radhika is saying to the black bee, do you not know anything else apart from glorifying your crooked master? Because the question is, we speak about those we have love and affection of. So it's natural to speak about them. This is a quality and characteristics of one who has affection towards somebody else. So we'll speak about those persons. If you don't have such affection for anyone, then you would not speak about them. So we desire to speak about those people we have love and affection for. If we see somebody we don't like, our face becomes very sour, a sour face, and they spoil our day, like an aubergine that is shriveled. When we were learning Sanskrit, we used to recite these words. Just by seeing a person, our heart becomes enlivened. Just speaking about such a person, we get so much pleasure. Our throat becomes choked. How Bhaktivinoda Thakura recites this kirtan. Kabe habe bolas sedinama. And this song is describing that we get so much pleasure from speaking that we cannot speak properly. Our throats become completely choked. There's new, ever fresh desire to speak about them. This anurag. There are two characteristics of anurag. One who has anurag towards the Lord, you'll see these two characteristics. It's chanting the Lord's name, there's so much pleasure. We develop a close, intimate completely tied with deep love and affection with them, and we stayed tied to them. This is a characteristics of anurag. And the color of the body changes. Vaivarna means the color of the body changes. There's so much pleasure, and tears flow from the eyes. Romancha Kamparshu Vaivarna, changing the color of the body. Just like if you become angry, your face becomes red. Yeah? That happens. You will see in your face. At that time you don't realize, but take a picture and then look. If you see any pale complexioned person, they become angry, the blood flows in their face and they become red. Lal ki jai. So we are saying, and the vision of our heart is like that, that we keep that love hidden in our heart like camphor in a box. If we open the lid of the box, the smell of the camphor will disappear. And prem, transcendental love, is like it's covered in the heart, it's kept in the heart, concealed. And the more it is in the heart, kept concealed, then the more it grows. It's in this book, Prema-samputa, Gurudev presented in English and in Hindi. If you want to know about transcendental love, you should read this book. Very beautiful book. You just read it once and you will not want to stop. Not such a big book. Small book. Maybe 60 pages. It's in English and in Hindi. You can find it online. So much pleasure you will get. Krishna is come in the form of Devangana, a damsel, and asked Krishna questions, asked Srimati Radhika questions. To speak about that person, we get desire if we hear about that person, we decide, if we know their glories, we become desired to speak about them. So, Srimati Radhika is saying, go to another place. Go to another place and speak about the glories of your master. Go there and being absorbed, you can glorify your master. Srimati Radhika, becoming grave, replied, what point is there in speaking about the glories of a rich person to a poor person? What benefit will we get? Will we get anything? Like Sudama Vipra. He went to Dwarka. He saw the great palace of Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's this slok, Kaham papyam. How unfortunate I am, a Brahmin, without a poor Brahmin. And look at Krishna, Sriniketanam, Sriniketanam means Lakshmi. And me going to him, what is the benefit? What is the point? The goddess of fortune resides in his home. In this condition, Srimati Radhika is saying, what is your purpose? What is your purpose in glorifying this crooked person? Now, he has left us in this poor condition. Once we were in this very fortunate position to have his association, but his departure, we have become poor and destitute, helpless, like renunciates. We are wandering the forests. For what reason? Because of that crooked person who took away everything of ours, all our wealth. Oh, Bumblebee, you've come to speak about your crooked master. We know and have experienced your crooked master's love and affection. Once we had a relationship with him, and we were full of good fortune. Now, today, we have lost everything. When Krishna was in Vrindavan, Srimati Radhika is saying, then Vrindavan was such a glorious place. When Krishna used to play the flute, and the gopis, we were singing this song, Krishna nache, Radha nache, nache gopigan. Nache Krishna nache, nache gopigan. Man mero ban gaire sakhi pavan Vrindavan. Nache Vishaka nache, nache sakhi gan. Man mero ban gaire sakhi pavan Vrindavan. Nache, nache sakhi gan. Sakhi pavan Vrindavan. Srimati Radhika is expressing her inner heart sentiments when Krishna played the flute. Hearing the flute, they renounced everything, their household duties, and came to Krishna. And hearing his sweet words, full of love and affection, how can we forget that? Now that he's left Vrindavan, and since then Vrindavan has become like a desert. The peacocks, peahens have stopped to sing. When Krishna played the flute, when he was here, they used to sing sweetly. The black bee used to buzz and fly from, and flowers used to blossom. Sweet fragrances were in the air. Yesterday we went to the gardens, it's such nice fragrances were there, such nice flowers. It was like in design of a bumblebee flying. And so Srimati Radhika is comparing the time when Krishna was with them and now when he is not there anymore. The trees were themselves manifesting many different types of fruits, and their branches were lowered to the ground as if kissing the ground and offering their fruits. But today, that same Vrindavan, that same tree, that same peacock and peahen, but now everything is barren and like a desert. All the animals are as if inanimate. That same Jamuna is not flowing. The Yamuna's water is flowing swiftly now, but when Krishna was here, the water stopped flowing. The water was coming from top to bottom, and when Krishna played his flute, the water stopped to flow and whirlpools were created. Mansi Ganga, Jamuna, on all the waters of Vrindavan became still and stunned. The sound of Mukunda's flute, the water stopped to flow, and they offered flowers on the banks of the Yamuna where Krishna was standing. Whirlpools were created and picked up the lotuses and offered them on the banks of the Yamuna. And used to offer to Govinda. It was such a beautiful scene. And that same Vrindavan today is completely deserted. The animals are not moving. The bumblebees were chanting the names of Krishna, Govinda, but that same bumblebee now, Krishna is left, is not to be seen. And the leaves on the trees have become dried and shriveled. Such a pathetic condition of Vrindavan. At that time when Krishna played the flute, there was so much pleasure. We used to come to Govinda all together, but today everything is changed. This kirtan is describing one gopi who has gone to from Vrindavan to Dwarka and said to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, once you were in Vrindavan, but now, today, where are you? You have come to Dwarka." Dwarka, Dharavati meaning Dwarka. Now you've become a king of kings. I was remembering when we goes to Mathura Parikram, after we performed the Achman of Yamuna, and yeah, and then we went to the Dwarkadish temple, and that when we arrived, the temple doors closed. Look, Gurudev said, Krishna closed the gates of the temple so that we could not have darshan. He knows, the Krishna knows, we will speak of the glories of Vrindavan. And so if we go from Vrindavan to Dwarka, Krishna knows that we are Brajabasis. How can I show my face to the Brajabasis? And shamefully, he closed the doors of the temple. There's no other reason. Yeah, when we left, then he will open the doors and meet with his queens. And then so it's described in this kirtan. He's saying in this kirtan, you are not of Dwarka, you belong to us in Braj. How did you leave Braj? How did you leave your mother and father, Nanda and Yashoda? How could you forget them? This is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Seeing Srimati Radhika's face in this condition, our love between you and Krishna, me and Krishna, is a matter of sentiment. These sentiments. First we say I love you, then I say I kill you. This is sentimental. Even if it's such the case, Srimati Radhika accepts this. But how could you forget your mother and father? And seeing Mother Yashoda's face, how could you forget your mother, Mother Yashoda? One can forget everything, but how can one forget their mother and father? And how can you forget particularly your mother? So this gopi is saying to Krishna in Dwarka, come back to Braj. You have taken birth from the womb of Mother Yashoda. You did not take birth from the womb of Devaki. Where did Krishna take birth? In Mathura? In Gokul? In Gokul. He appeared in Mathura. The Lord can appear anywhere. He can appear from a pillar. So we cannot say that his mother and father is the pillar. And Varahadev, he appeared from the nostrils of Brahma. We can't say that the nostrils are his mother and father. The Lord can appear anywhere. But where is he born? Where there is his umbilical cord is cut, like a normal, ordinary human being. And this is the difference between Janma and Avirbhava. Avirbhava is appearance and Janma is birth. When he was born from the womb of Mother Yashoda, this cannot be said as Avirbhava, appearance. We are Brajabasis. How can you forget Mother Yashoda? You are not the resident of Dwarka. You are Brajabasi. Come back to Braj. Brajeknai, Braje Chalo. Krishna says to the gopi, I have so much to do here in Dwarka. She is replying, come for a few days. You are just entrapped by these damsels, maidens. this mood is being portrayed in this song. This gopi is chastising Krishna and speaking these words to Krishna in Dwarka. How you are entrapped by these damsels in Dwarka, these queens. Krishna, hearing these words, what you're saying is true. But how can I go to Braj? Krishna is saying. That was not, I'm no longer that person. I've changed. When I was in Braj, I used to herd the cows and play in the dirt. But now I'm a king. How can I go as a king? The Braj is full of dust. If I go to Braj, I will get Karuna. Dust of Braj. If you go to Braj, you'll have to wear a mask. Those who live there, they don't need, because they're used to it. The foreigners who come from here to Braj, they fall sick in the second day, and if they attend the parikram, they cannot manage the whole parikram. But those who live there, there's no dust here. The atmosphere is clean. Yeah. But if you come to Vrindavan, especially Brajmandal Parikram, so much dust. And also the heat, at 50 degrees. Here, if there's 20 degrees, you're suffering. There is 50. So Krishna is saying, I was walking in the dust of Braj. So this gopi is saying, it's describing that the tears of the gopis have wet the ground and made it muddy. The gopi is describing there's no dust anymore in Braj, just mud from the tears of the Brajvasis. Krishna is saying, it's muddy now, then how can I walk in mud? The gopi is saying, don't worry. That mud on your feet will be washed by the tears of the gopis. So Krishna replied, there's only water then in Braj. How will I cross the Jamuna? And to go to Vrindavan, you have to cross the Jamuna. And so the gopis reply that the Braj gopis will make a boat from their body to cross you across the river Yamuna and take you to Vrindavan. Nayanjale. Nayan Jale means the tears from the eyes of the gopis has caused the flood. Such beautiful sentiments in this kirtan touch the heart. Krishna leaving Vrindavan, going to Mathura and Dwarka. So it's said here, somehow or another we're passing our days.
प्रचार करने के लिए आए हो, परिभ्रमण तुम्हारे प्रभु की उस समस्त प्रेम की कथा ही विशेष, उस पुरातन प्रेम की कथा हमारे निकट ज्ञान पूर्व काल में उनके साथ हम लोग एक संबंध था, जिसके फलस्वरूप समस्त ब्रह्मांड संपूर्ण रूप से समृद्धवान था एवं उत्काल आनंद की हुल्लोड़ में प्रवाहित होता था। आज वह आनंद एवं समृद्धि संपूर्ण रूप से कृष्ण वृंदावन से मथुरा चले जाने के बाद वृंदावन की
describing the pathetic condition of Vrindavan after Krishna left to Mathura and Dwarka. So Srimati Radhika is saying, do not need to speak of all of this to us, we know already. She's externally criticizing Krishna, but internally she's glorifying him. This is called Kabya Alankar. Externally there's criticism, but internally glorification. Lal ki jai, jai Shri Radhesha. Bolo Hari Gopala Bolo Govinda, Bolo Hari Gopala Bolo Giridhari Shama Vanavari Mero Radha Ramana Giridhari Giridhari Shama Vanavari Radhe Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe Jai Krishna Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Shri Radhe Shama Ki Jai Ki Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai.